Welcome to another episode on the People Productivity Channel, where you are the product and a better you is the solution. You know, today I'm excited to have on a very interesting guest that I met years ago, Sanjog Aul. Sanjog actually is going to share some information. It's called the Tricycle Way. And, given the COVID crisis, so many people have been rethinking their lives. They've realized that they were working probably too hard, missing out on a lot of different pieces of life. And, Sanjog actually came to that conclusion before the COVID crisis and actually wrote a book called The Tricycle Way. And Sanjog, could you introduce yourself to the audience, please, just quickly?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Sanjog Aul, and Frank told a little bit about me. So I come from a humble background. We all do in a way, and I still I'm living a life which is a result of what me having to chase success and finding that that's not the right thing to do. And there was a finding, or rather a reckoning, that I have to come back to the basics. And as a result of that, not only chase success, but also talk about satisfaction and smiles, and that too every day.
Mm-hmm.
And in short, that's what the tricycle is, the three wheels of a tricycle, the success and the satisfaction and smiles. And I'm a student of that. That's my introduction.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm really excited that you're here for many reasons. And one of which is that, when people get to the end of life, they end up with certain regrets. So the COVID crisis has made people think about life looking forward. And this nurse, Bonnie Ware, wrote a book, Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. The top 5 regrets were: I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. I wish I'd stayed in touch with my friends. And I wish I'd let myself be happier. So, many people, Sanjog, feel trapped and say they just, have too much debt and career demands are too high, that they don't have time to rebalance. What do you have to say to them?
Well, so this looks like a trap because that's all in the mind. If you look for answers, you don't look outside, you look within yourself. So when somebody says I'm trapped, that could be the trap of your own expectation that you may have created from life, which means it could be more material, what you have with you, who you have around you. All of those things are expectations we create for ourselves. When we look at the approach we take to life, we always talk about success. Or rather, before that, let's talk about happiness. When we say we want to be happy, in our mind, we have something fuzzy, which we call happy. But let me deconstruct that for you. Happiness is nothing else but success, satisfaction, and smiles in some balance, which when you think about internally, that's what you're essentially evaluating. Do I have peace in my mind and my heart? And do I have a smile on my face? And am I able to call myself successful in different aspects? And that balance, when it's broken, or when we create expectations which are because somebody else should be looking at us and kind of validating our being based on what they feel, and we start making that as an expectation for us, that's where it starts, where we start feeling that we are trapped. We are trapped in this situation which is not in our control. But frankly, it is all about the decisions you make.
So you came up with a really, really interesting model, and I strongly recommend people getting The Tricycle Way. It's a really good book. It's how to stop racing through life. And Sanjog, you had a crisis moment of your own before COVID that led you to write this book. Why don't you share what happened to you with the audience so they understand the backdrop and what the motivation was to write this book?
Absolutely. So I came to United States from India in 1995, and I came as a software programmer on an H-1B visa. A lot of us came at that time. Sky was the limit to what we could have achieved. We started our journey. So I went through the same route that many other people who came as immigrants came to this country, got our visas, a green card, and a citizenship. But while I was doing that, I felt that doing a 9 to 5 job wasn't for me. So I started my company in 98 and I started becoming busier in terms of building it. Now came that time, just around 98 also, I got married. And that's the time when I started my business. You can imagine two different huge projects, two
Yeah.
huge undertakings at the same time.
And you have multiple businesses as well, right? Because you have the
Yes, I
CIO
do. Yeah.
Talk
So I run a
Network.
consulting firm, and then later on, I started a media company. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. So as the whole thing started, I started becoming busier, and my family was hoping that I was with them, but I was thinking that as a provider, I was supposed to provide for them. That's my primary duty, and that's what I was focusing. And so I kind of justified what I was doing was for them. And they were saying, no, we don't need all of that. Yes, I need, but that's not at the cost of you not being around. And I kept fighting it to a point that come 10 years farther down, 2008 is when I would say it kept building up to a point when one day I came back from a long trip and my wife showed me picture of a drawing that my daughter drew at the daycare, and that was a family picture, and I wasn't in it. I was absent.
That's so
So
terrible.
that Yes, so that was a rude awakening that a
It is.
3-year-old could very quickly show you the mirror. My son, who is 3.5 years or so elder than her, was there, but he missed most of the time, or rather, I missed most of the time I could have spent with him. But all that was happening, and besides my children not being close to me, I was also in that zone, which also prevented me from building a good relationship with my spouse. And frankly, my siblings, my own siblings, my parents, as well as my in-laws kept saying, there is more to life than you chasing success. But there you go. I was building a consulting firm. I
Yep.
was building a media company. And the foundation of my life was essentially crumbling.
Wow.
And
I mean, it's
yeah,
hard to build one company, let alone two, and have a family. I mean, no wonder you were struggling. That's a lot of weight to carry.
absolutely. While there is an alignment between the two companies, but still it is a lot of work.
Mhm.
So that kept happening till the time I had this rude awakening, and then I said, I will lose them. I have no other thing left with me. I will have no other thing left with me with all these big businesses, etc. What I'll build. But if I don't have the people who I would want to share this with, what's the point?
Mhm.
So, I feel that I'm blessed that I at least got that rude awakening and I started looking at what should I do. So instead of looking at people outside, I said, I'm going to work on myself. I announced that I'm going to try to change. I started working on it, and I was able to turn my life around while building actually a better business as a result.
Yeah,
And
fabulous that you weren't an 80-year-old with regrets, right? That you dealt with it
absolutely,
now while there's a lot of life
yes.
to live.
Yes, and you know what, frankly, and it spoiled my health. I went through a heart condition, which basically was the result of me not taking care of myself, which has actually caused me that I'll be on meds throughout my life because of me not taking care of my health and only to go and building a better balance sheet and a better profit and loss
No,
statement. It's
I
not a
never heard that
place.
part of your life story. That's tragic.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say is that I'm living. I believe that's his blessing in itself. Yes, I have to live with the meds. Awesome. I understand that there is at least life there, so I can enjoy the remainder of my life while, of course, running what I have to run as business enterprises and build good things, but not at the cost of my family.
So, I really like the whole notion of the tricycle way. You know, it's simple, easy to understand. The book is very good. I did download it on the Kindle. I think everybody should get it. So, why don't you tell us why this tricycle way is kind of a form of natural healing from the inside out? Let's unpack it together, maybe.
Absolutely.
So, you
So,
call the frame authenticity. Why don't you explain to the audience what that is and why that's so important?
absolutely. So just to give a context, tricycle is a metaphor, a way for you to map all your attributes, the essential ones, the essential attributes, attitudes, and actions to different parts of a tricycle. The reason I ended up using tricycle, it's uncanny that it actually came to me versus me trying to find out. Because when I started assembling different pieces, it looked like different parts of a tricycle. So if you were to start unpacking, there are four major components. One is authenticity, second is gratitude, third is purpose, fourth is giving. So let's start with the first one. So authenticity is same as the frame of a tricycle. So we talk about our life, every aspect of our existence. When we were born authentic. We whatever we felt, we communicated. Whatever we felt, we expressed ourselves in every form of fashion. We were authentic. Later on, as the life goes on, somewhere we learned that if something is at stake, it's easy to let go of that authenticity to get what we want. So we put our want, and that want is also created by us. It's not truly what we need. It's a want, it's a greed, it could be whatever the trigger is. We want it, and we allow inauthenticity, not representing ourselves well, boasting in our credentials, or exaggerating things what you do to get a promotion, get more money, get a project. So authenticity is about when you are being you in the way you communicate, in the way even you think. Because even you're not speaking, but inside you should know that who is the true you, but sometimes we even try to fool ourselves. And that's where it starts corroding. So imagine you are riding a tricycle with a corroded frame.
I like the quote in there. You are what you do when you have nothing and when you have everything.
I mean, that's exactly is when you think about a child, or you think someone who has nothing left, you could go and go kill someone and loot a bank or something, or you try to be an honest individual who says, I'm going to start from scratch, and these are my values, and that you stick to them. Because whenever we try to look for things which we don't deserve yet because of lack of capability, that's exactly the time when we start working towards it and try to fake it, put a facade. And that's inauthenticity. And that's the biggest drug, if you will, because a small dose of inauthenticity could get you what you want. And then you go to the next one, and then you take a bigger dose of drug.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you don't know where you're going to land.
And that's super stressful to be someone you're not.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So it's better to sleep well versus sleeping on a bigger bed.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's another good quote. So now let's move on to the cushioned seat, gratitude.
Absolutely. See, a lot of people talk about gratitude. There are gratitude journals, etc. But then the issue is that we always try to look at our, like suppose you sit down right now, just after this interview, when you watch listeners, or audience, whoever you have, Frank, if they just sat down quietly and say, what's my life? The tendency is to first go and look at what's missing. So we start worshiping literally what we lack. And that's what pulls us down. But what if we immediately train ourselves? I mean, we train ourselves to, whenever this thought comes, in whichever situations, we naturally look at what we have. And be thankful. And you don't need to say, I got my third Mercedes for which I am thankful. You got to think about, like, I have a glass of water when I'm thirsty. I have got shoes right where I needed them because I was going out for jogging. I come back to come back home after a wintry cold Chicago, like in the evening, and I see that my spouse made soup for me. These are not huge things, but aren't these things which we should be thankful of?
For sure.
Every moment of our life gives us an opportunity to be thankful about something.
We all have so much to be thankful for. Food.
Absolutely. Even like in this context of COVID. Yes, I could feel I'm trapped, the life is doomed, but I would just request you to sit down, all the people who are watching this, just take a piece of paper and write down in the last 1 week, what did you do, and mark all the items which you are taking for granted, but essentially you are fortunate to have those. Doing that actual exercise will tell you that you cannot sit in your air-conditioned home, be on a high quality camera or a high quality computer, working. You have work to do, you got high quality computer, you're sitting in a heated home or with air conditioning, and you say my life is doomed. So this is all outside of you. You don't look for, the trap is what we are thinking about, how are we reacting to things which are inside of us. We have to look inside versus looking at outside to see what's the trap.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would say. Use gratitude. Use gratitude to your advantage. You will never feel trapped.
Mm-hmm. So now we continue putting the next piece of the tricycle together, the handlebars, or your purpose.
Well, so purpose is one of the most profound area which most people take a lot of time to figure out what they ought to be doing. Some people confuse it with their job, that I'm a plumber, that's my purpose.
Uh-huh.
Right? But I've gone into a little bit of detail to just basically describe how you should look at your purpose. So if Frank is doing coaching, yeah, that might get him some clients, some consulting, some money. But what he's trying to do is to help people get clarity in the way they approach their life and their work. So he's submitted to that mission. You could do the same, you can serve the same purpose in 20 different modalities.
Mm-hmm.
But the underlying purpose, if we pick one, and it's not necessary that every time you have a purpose, you have to drop what you're doing and just go like a sage, pursue it. You could very well bring your purpose into what you do every day. And imagine when you start doing it, so you're essentially not working, you're living your purpose. You get more excited about things that you're doing. You start innovating in there. You start helping people with whichever way you can, because the more you go after your purpose, the more value you create for yourself and the people around.
Mm-hmm. And, you could find your purpose where your passion, mission, talent, and profession meet. It's one of the quotes you had in there. I'll tell you the truth. I find, like in my life anyway, if doing what I was passionate about is what made me discover my purpose.
Yeah.
Passion is so important.
Yeah. And so it is a discussion. It is a lot of scratch pads and whiteboarding to see what you do. Talk to someone. What are your natural gifts? Where can you go? And when you are thinking about that aspect of what you do, or how you, in the area when you are doing something or thinking about that you call as home, the ideas keep coming. Mm-hmm. You just have to totally have a ball, and doesn't mean somebody's paying you or not, but you will totally love to do it anyhow. So there's a journey to identifying that purpose, but once you know it, then you have to go and try to align your rest of your life to it. So at least majority of what you do is somewhere aligned to your purpose.
So next, we start putting the pedals on, and the pedals are actually giving. And you say that allows you to pedal faster.
Yes, and in fact, what I said in the book about that is, it's interesting that the only thing you can do, Frank, you and I and all people who are watching this, is giving. You cannot get anything from anyone. You can only receive as a result of your giving, period.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that, imagine what's going to happen. When you start giving, magic happens. I kid you not, firsthand. I experience it every day. When you do that, giving is in a social situation, you are always, being out there helping them wherever you can help in your capacity, without, of course, ignoring your obligations, which you have towards the near and dear ones. Second is in a business situation, they pay you $1,000. You do $15,000 worth of job, not expecting that you will get a raise or a promotion or another contract. It's just the way you do it. Mm-hmm. And you'll be surprised at how the word travels. And people will raise you higher, give you the notoriety, people will start liking you, sending you more opportunities. But again, you don't do this, you don't give because you want something. You just give, you just pedal. Mm-hmm. And you will see, when you start seeing the value, you will naturally start pedaling faster. So it's a mindset.
Yeah, it is.
Embrace it.
And the world, to a large degree, is wired for giving. You know, the oak trees give the acorns to build the forest. And you can see that all around us in life, different forms of giving that are wired into the way everything works. But I do totally agree with you.
And see, one thing which I've seen is a lot of people who get the worldly advice that somebody's going to take advantage of you, so you don't be a goofball and don't do anything which will make you come across as less smart or naive. And actually, giving is for the leaders, giving is for the smarts, giving is for the mature people. So whosoever is giving you that advice, they do not know better.
Mm-hmm.
So if you took care of the authenticity, the gratitude, the purpose, and the giving, then the rest of the aspects we talk about, and that let's talk when we come to it.
Okay. Well, now we go on. We've got the tricycle set up. We got the handlebars on, the seats on. We get to the first rear wheel. We put it on.
All right.
Satisfaction.
So, absolutely. So satisfaction is essentially a feeling, I would say, you get when either your own expectations that you have for yourself are met, or you have from others. Essentially, that's the feeling. And if you could have that peace in mind every day, essentially, that's what you need.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you get it? There are two things which take away the satisfaction. One is we don't accept what happened and we could not control it. So COVID happened. You can fight it all you want. You can blame on a politician or on a country or whatever, but it happened. Can you do something about it? From your side, yeah, you can keep your social distancing and you can wear your mask. That's your obligation. But can you turn this into pre-COVID era? No, that's not going to happen, and your life would change forever. But then the best thing you can do is accept it.
Mm-hmm.
So accept what you cannot change will help you restore your satisfaction. So today you can go nuts trying to do analysis of why did it happen and why is everybody doing what they're doing, etc. Or you accept that, okay, COVID has happened. That will get you satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is when other people, or maybe from ourselves, we have expectation that anything that we start, it should get done yesterday. Instead of that, if you focus on progress, that when I come today, I might have 20 tasks in front of me, but can my 3 get done? The ones, of course, you can prioritize them. Or suppose you are dealing with COVID. You want to get off it soon, and or maybe you are helping your company get everyone to a remote location, then start working, or your family, help them all get together and start working in their school or home related work, etc. But you did not get ready on the first day. You could maintain your satisfaction if you focused on progress. That we will try to plan it out, but we will take one step at a time, one day at a time. And then that day, if you made progress,
feel good about it.
Feel good about it. And that approach will help you achieve satisfaction.
What I really like is that you applied the tricycle in your own life to actually build this happiness and satisfaction and to rebalance. And so many people do need to rebalance. So it's a good model. It actually works.
And you know what, frankly, who are using it, it's helping them, it's helping me. I hope and more people will benefit. That's my reward.
Yeah, and you're creating a movement out of this, the Tricycle Way, correct?
Absolutely. So we have a team of instructional designers, learning and development experts, individuals from different walks of lives. They are all coming together and we're building a complete ecosystem. So if I gave this book to someone, audiobook or Kindle or physical book, yes, the concept is good. It's laid out very well, but then you need sometimes clarity at different juncture. You need motivation. You need support. And you need some sort of tools and ways for you to be able to gauge where you stand, where do you need to go, and once you've made some progress, where are you now so you know what to do next. So for that, we are coming up with, starting from journals to planners to courses to webinars to seminars to blogs to troubleshooting guide. So you name it, all that has been put together across like in-person setting as well as digital setting, even like support groups. So we are hoping we will have Tricycle Way support groups where people will be able to help each other assemble and maintain each other's tricycle.
Yeah, it's fabulous. So let's finish putting it together then. So we have the second rear wheel now, right? Which is kind of the smiles and balancing.
Absolutely. So you could be all satisfied and peace and heart, but then you want to feel like you're living as well, which means some fun, some joy. And how do you bring about it? So a lot of people can laugh at a joke, but the real smile comes from some things very simple. You don't need external motivation. It is intrinsic. It is coming from within. And how does it come? It could be as simple as, you're sitting with a book, your favorite book, and you're having your favorite snack, and nobody's bothering you. You read 3 chapters, you learn something, or there was a surprising ending, and you keep it down and you feel now it's time for coffee. I have coffee. Now imagine that feeling. That's bliss. So nobody else will come to give you bliss. You have to prioritize it in your day. And even if you did that, the interesting part is people have their lives so complicated that even if the bliss opportunity does arrive and you do get to sit down and do it, but if you're so preoccupied with the 20 things that you're doing, you will still not get smiles. So you got to simplify, mentally declutter, physically declutter the projects, that number of projects you're dealing with anytime, reduce them, use the N-1 formula. Every time think, what else can I reduce from my plate so that I'm dealing with fewer things? And that could get you the simplicity, and then couple it with doses of bliss, you will have smiles.
Yeah, it's fabulous, because I like the idea of practicing daily subtraction, trying to reduce the number of items on that list, because people are overwhelmed. There's no question.
Yeah, there will always be things people will add to their list. It's very easy. So can we say no? Yes, sometimes. Other times, yeah, maybe not. So even those essentials things come, but you can look at anything that has become from essential to non-essential. Can you delegate it? It's not that you will just drop it, but figure out a way that it's not on your plate. And that will be what I call is a focused efforts towards simplicity. And with that, and then when you go to a vacation, sometimes when you go to a vacation, but you got 20 projects hovering on your head, do you think you'll enjoy it? You will not enjoy it.
No, no way.
So both have to happen hand in hand.
So now they've got the tricycle assembled and we get down to maintenance. Keeping that.
Actually, the success part. So success part is the biggest wheel, which is most people chase. So we spoke about the 2, but the final one is success. And
you're right.
Right. So the thing is, the 3 wheels are success, satisfaction, and smiles. The traditional thinking is I have to just focus on success. So, and the model itself, while it shows us the biggest wheel, but we focus first on satisfaction and on smiles every day. And then if you think about success, success is nothing else but a milestone. You complete one project, another one you are going to chase. But what about the satisfaction and smiles during that journey between the 2 milestones? That's where people feel miserable. So coming to success, think about success is a balance of 3 things. Relationship, which is that people who you have in business or in person, build good relationships, work on building a good focused brand. And if you build relationships, people care for you. They will send you opportunities. They will look out for you. But then they will say, I want to help him, but what can this person do for someone else? That's where the branding comes into play. So you are What Xerox is to copying, you are to be, synonymous to something.
Mm-hmm.
What are you? So that branding has to be established so people know exactly when to remember you when they're sitting with their own friend
Mm-hmm.
and trying to figure out how to help that other friend, and they refer your name. So that's how other people will come to you for opportunities because of the relationship and your brand. But once they come, and when you perform, because somebody took a leap of faith whenever they come to you the first time, no matter who they are, even your mom, they're putting faith in you. So you cannot do it any less than absolutely the best performance you can put into delivering what was promised by you.
Mm-hmm.
And once you do that, then that becomes a good cycle of your relationship and your branding and your performance. Each of them help each other out, and it creates more and more and more success. But if you were to look, of course, I cannot, show the whole book here,
Mm-hmm.
but what is helping you in the satisfaction and smiles, there is interconnection among all of these elements. The first four and the spokes of the satisfaction and smiles wheel, all of them together help in the three spokes of the success wheel. So
Mm-hmm.
the lesson is, if you first focus every day on building your satisfaction and smiles, the things which lead you there are going to lead you to a better, greater, sweeter tasting success. That's the model.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the
So with
balance.
that said, you talk about maintenance. Maintenance is something where you will take care of it. Now, before maintenance, I want to pull you back, and that's something because I was talking about my health, right?
Yeah.
There are tires. Everyone talks about health, but how many people are truly taking care of it? So imagine your tricycle without the tires or deflated tires. It will still not move. Your
Yeah.
tricycle will simply not move. So you build the framework, you put the wheels on, your tires should be proper. And then in order for doing all of that, you need a good tool, one tool, that is the right mindset to assemble your tricycle. With all of that said now, you get into the maintenance. And when you're doing the maintenance, besides, of course, tightening the handlebar, which is taking care of, keep looking at your purpose, keeping it, proper, then cleaning up your frame, which is staying authentic, etc. We go through all the different aspects. Then there are things which are like grime and dirt that starts depositing on your tricycle, which could be jealousy, greed, resentment,
Mm-hmm.
pride. All of those things are also, you have to look at and continually remove them, because the best form of you is the real you, the humble you, someone who is all inclusive, someone who is all inviting to everyone else. And that's what is maintenance. And if you do it well, and you just ask yourself every morning and every night, how's my tricycle? Let that question prompt where you need help. Go ahead and do the maintenance. You will have a life where you will not be racing through it, and instead start enjoying the ride.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really the key message. Enjoy the ride. Don't get to the end of life with regrets.
There
You
you
gotta
go.
enjoy the ride now. You got to enjoy every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The time is a gift.
Yes. Yes.
So it's a really, really simple metaphor. By the way, is there a website for this?
We have purposely kept it under wraps because the whole ecosystem is being revealed.
Okay.
But for the book, if they want to get the concept or they want to go and follow us on social media, we keep sharing our thoughts on what they can do about Tricycle. There's a Facebook group for Tricycle Way, which we're trying to build. So it's like a movement, right? A concept that I've submitted to the world. It takes time for people to learn, people to evaluate, and I'm offering my own time to the community and to individuals who want to talk, because I coach people as well. And but this is basically my way of helping the world.
I think you chose a very important topic and one that's top of mind for many people right now. So I do encourage people to, really go get the book, take a look at it. I downloaded it. It's a simple framework actually, and it's easy to remember because it's visual. and everybody can benefit from this. Do you have any parting thoughts for folks?
Be you. And you are in your best form. You can perform the best. Just feel that there are nice people out there.
Mm-hmm.
People are nice. Other people around you are nice. That you are blessed. And you in your purest form is the most powerful form that it can be. And if you can start with these three things, if nothing else, of course, you can read the book and you can go more into it. I think you will transform your life, not just change incrementally.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my hope and pray for everyone.
Yeah, it's a powerful message. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And best of luck with the movement. Anything I could do to help, happy to do it. And certainly going to distribute this out to as many people as we can.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.